All right, so Wednesday night, October 23rd, 2013. Last week we discussed certain aspects of Hakham Obadia Yosef, his writings, his history, and one major thing that constantly sticks out with Hakham Obadia Yosef is this term of Maran. Yes, okay, nowadays everybody calls Hakham Obadia Maran, but prior to that, there were only two people referred to as Maran. Firstly, Maran being Rabbi Yosef Karo, and secondly, Maran was also used as a term to refer to the Hida, Bihayim Yosef David Azullai. They were both Yosef, and the common adage used to be, Mi Yosef, the Yosef, lo kam ki Yosef. Same thing like they have the Moshe and Moshe. So these are the two Yosefs, Yosef Karo and Bihayim Yosef David Azullai. Nowadays, of course, they use it for Hakham Obadia Yosef. In any case, we had many Sephardi Hachamim, and even Ashkenazi Hachamim, who said, you have any questions, Lechu el Yosef, go to Yosef, and whatever the halacha is, in Shulchan Aruch, that's the way things go. But none of them actually really seem to push the Maran business, the Shulchan Aruch, the Beit Yosef, the same way that Hakham Obadia does. Hakham Obadia seems to have created it into this mythical way of adhering to Judaism. At least that's the way I perceive it. And obviously, it's something that helped put him on the map, both positively and negatively. Positively because he was able to say to people, and mostly people who don't know anything, this is the way of Sephardim, this is the way of Sephardim, and he kept drilling it into their head for years and years and years. And so now all these Sephardi Ba'al Teshuvah, if you will, say, Maran, Shulchan, and that's, he got all these people around him. On the flip side, you have all the people that actually grew up knowing something, and grew up with religion, and grew up remembering their rabbis, and no, we didn't do Maran. No, we didn't do Shulchan. No, we didn't. We followed, the Hida on this, we followed Rabbi Hayim Palachi on this, we followed the Ben Ish Hai on that. We didn't follow straight Maran. We had a minhag in Morocco of this, minhag in Yemen of this, minhag in Syria of this, minhag in Egypt of this. No, we didn't have such a thing of just going to one guy. So he got people to be aware of this so they could purposely go against him, and people to be aware of it so they could purposely go with him. So he definitely created awareness of Shulchan Aruch, he created awareness of Sephardic Halacha and of Sephardic Minhagim. So now another issue that comes up is that he constantly says that everybody has to follow Shulchan Aruch. Once you are in Eretz Israel, I'm not talking about outside of Eretz Israel, but when you are in Eretz Israel, he's saying this is Maran's territory. This is the land of Rabbi Yosef Karo, and since he is Mara de Atra, he is the teacher of the land, you must adhere to his rulings and live your life by his rules. So I tell you, all these Yemenites who are following Rambam for centuries, move to Israel, you have to follow, Shulchan Aruch now. Forget about whatever you have from Rambam, forget about your old minhagim, forget about your ways of thinking, of leaning, of learning, of anything. This is it. Now it is now Shulchan Aruch. The Moroccan guys, I don't like who you're following. Are you following, the Rif, or you're following the Rashba, or you're following the old minhag from Castile, Spain? No good. Just follow Shulchan Aruch. And that's what he seems to tell everybody, because he feels this is Maran's territory. My problem is,
do the people follow Maran like 300 years afterwards, or just
wrote
it back?
Like we said, we don't seem to have any documentation of any one rabbi or synagogue or group of people, even in Israel, adhering strictly to Maran Shulchan Aruch. Even Maran Shulchan Aruch writes an introduction to Beit Yosef. If you have valid customs based upon Hachamim, based upon Rishonim, that you're already following, and they are different than what I'm writing here, so don't listen to what I'm writing, adhere to what you're doing. So even Rabbi Yosef Karo didn't tell you, you must follow me. Rabbi Yosef Karo came from, let's say he was born in Spain, left as a little kid, went to Salonika, Greece, from Salonika, Greece, ended up in Israel in the north in Safed. And that was technically, Israel was known to be the land of Rambam. The rules had to follow Rambam. So now all of a sudden he's some newcomer that shows up and he's changing the face of things. No, forget about Rambam, who was Maran de Atra. You could say the same thing that Hakham Yosef was saying. You know what? I'm the new Maran de Atra. Okay, he goes, yes, Rambam's dead, so now follow me. So tell me Yosef Karo's dead, I'll follow the next guy. Why do I have to, hold to this? What do you want to say, David?
How long until after he died was he accepted as
Was he? That's the question. Was he?
What year was it? What year did he die?
15. I don't know offhand. You know offhand, Mark?
1580s, late 1500s, I think.
Late 1500s, yes, but I don't know what year.
400 years after Rambam.
Rambam passed away 1204.
300 years.
Take a look, as you're looking it up.
So 300 years after Rambam passed away.
Yeah. But for the most part,
so Hakham Obadia kind of bypassed Rambam.
350 years now.
He didn't bypass Rambam. He just said, "This is the guy." Because you see, we know for a fact that Sephardim in general did not follow Rambam. Even though some people may want to tell you that this is the law and this is the last writing of the law and this is what Sephardim did. Let's be realistic. It's not true. It's really outside of the Yemenite community. Nobody else that we know of actually, clung to every last word that Rambam wrote.
But didn't we read that before the Shulchan Aruch that they did? A lot of communities did.
A lot of communities followed him, but again, they didn't adhere only, and it was just communities. It wasn't the whole nation of Israel. Okay, so and the only community still adhering to Rambam, and possibly because they were so far removed from everybody else, it could be other reasons as well. It seems to be the Yemenites.
During that time, who did they go by? The Sephardim from 1200.
Whoever the rabbi was in the town.
And
so
it was like a local.
Your local rabbi. He's the guy who gave you an answer what to do.
There's also a differentiation.
Okay, Ezra found a date or no?
Yeah, he passed away in 1575.
1575. Yosef Karo passed away.
1204.
Okay.
370
years later.
So it sounds like if there was a community rabbi, each time there was a new community rabbi, that he was the Hakham, and the community listened to him.
The community would listen to him. In most cases, the community rabbis many times would be homegrown, or even if they're brought from if he's homegrown, so he's going to follow more or less what was done before him because he grew up with the same thing. And even if he was brought from the outside, there would always be community elders and other learned people who would say, I'm going to institute this. And no, we already have a custom over here of doing such and such. And we even see that in Rambam's Teshubot, where a question will come to him, we had a rabbi over here, this is what we did. Another rabbi now came, he wants to change it like this. And they read a letter to Rambam, what should we do? Do we listen to the old guy that we used to do? Do we listen to the new guy that's here now? How should we affect things?
Peace.
No, sometimes it has to go one way, sometimes it goes the other way, depending on how a more senior rabbi would view the situation. And the same way, from the time that there was a Rishon LeZion, the Rishon LeZion was always viewed by all the Sephardim in all the lands as being, the rabbi to go to if you have a question that you cannot ask your local rabbi. And it wasn't that you couldn't ask your local rabbi, it was more like the local rabbi wasn't 100% sure where to go with it. So let's say the rabbi of Basra, for example, would say, okay, I have a question, it's a difficult question, I'm sending my question straight to Yerushalayim, to the Rishon LeZion. Same way a rabbi from Halab would do the same thing, and a rabbi from Istanbul would do the same thing, and a rabbi from Cairo would do the same thing, and a rabbi from Kilis would do the same thing. Makes no difference. If I need a final word, we send the word to the Rishon LeZion, who is in Sion, and let him, give us a question.
Where was the Hakham Bashi?
That's what we're talking about.
It was always in Israel?
We're talking about the Hakham Bashi, the preeminent Hakham Bashi being the Rishon LeZion. Yes, each region had their own Hakham Bashi, or each city,
I'm
town.
saying from the 1580s till the 1900s, weren't they the guys that
But that's when it started. Basically, that started around 1570. That's when we have the first Rishon LeZion, Rabbi Moshe Galanti. Mm-hmm. And that was already...
So did he follow Maran?
Did he follow Maran? Not every little word, no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Then that's what you got to follow.
So what do you got to follow?
I'm saying the customs there. We didn't follow Maran, so it's not.
Again, so that's one
not consistent.
Well, we know that's not consistent. We absolutely know it's not consistent. And even now, what I want to come to prove now, and we know this already because we've had these discussions in so many classes in the past, that Hakham Yosef is not consistent, and the Sephardim are not consistent, and the Ashkenazim.
I'm following Maran, right?
Yes.
Right.
Nobody's consistent.
Right.
So I think it's something. Again, in praise of Hakham Obadia, he did this. We could say, and we could also look at he did something that was negative. In praise, we could say he, as we said last time, he wanted to be like Rabbi Oziel. Okay, Rabbi Oziel's main thing was uniting the people. So I think Hakham Obadia Yosef saw this as a way to bring all Sephardim together. And even the Ashkenazim, and even the Yemenite, and whoever may show up in Israel, let's bring them all together. We can no longer look at ourselves as Jews of the exile. We finally have our homeland, we have it back in our hands, and we have our own government. We need to look at ourselves as first and foremost as Jews, and as a united nation of Jews, and not as a bunch of splinter groups. Yeah, I came from East 5th Street, and he came from Bedford Avenue.
And he prayed in Sitchel. That's probably where it all started.
And he prayed in Sitchel.
He went to Sitchel, he saw Abi Dr. Hazan,
right, and this guy
went
prayed,
too fast.
And this guy used to pray with Fa'ud, and this guy used to pray with Maslator, and this guy used to pray, and I remember when, when this dib was in town, and, he got influenced by that guy, and you can't do this. We need to just make one ruling for everybody. I think that was his real, mindset behind all this Maran thing. And so it's obviously not something that we had before, but it's something that he decided to take and run with, because he felt it could probably unify the people. And that same way Rabbi Oziel wanted to unify people, he also wanted to unify people, and he found this methodology. And that's why when people came up against him, I think it bothered him so much. And that's a big, sore point that him and Rabbi Shalush had. And they continued to have, and something as I've been digging into different Israeli archives over the last week, a lot of dirt happened, unfortunately, between Hakham Obadia and Hakham David Shalush. Hakham David Shalush and Hakham Obadia were practically best of friends until about 1968, even 69. From that point on, started going down and going down quick. Until now, we know that Hakham Obadia Yosef, he became chief rabbi of Tel Aviv, and after being chief rabbi of Tel Aviv, he then became the Rishon LeZion, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Okay. Who became chief rabbi of Tel Aviv after Rabbi Obadia Yosef?
Rabbi
Haim David HaLevi. Here's the but. Rabbi Haim David HaLevi wasn't meant to take that position at the time. Rabbi Shalush was moving to come from Netanya to take the next step up to become to Tel Aviv. Hakham David and Hakham Obadia started fighting about this whole Maran thing, and they really were fighting.
What year is this, the fighting?
This is 72. Okay? I'm talking about major fighting going on between them. Hakham Obadia did not like it at all, and he told all the other people involved, all the rabbis and all the people that had votes, do not vote for him, I'm bringing in somebody else. Now, Rabbi Haim David HaLevi isn't obviously his most favorite choice to bring in for such a position, because he also knew that he was also, on a different mindset than him, but at least he wasn't vehemently attacking him with these anti-Maran speeches. And so but he also knew that there was nobody else that was as smart for the position. So he had no choice, so he went with the lesser of two evils, and he ended up bringing in Rabbi Haim David HaLevi, who at the time was the chief rabbi of Rishon LeZion. Rishon LeZion was a small agricultural city at the time. He brought him in, he backed him up, he got all his people to back up. On the other side, the Mavdal, one of the major political parties, had Rabbi Gordon behind it. Rabbi Gordon made a promise to Rabbi Shalush, don't worry about it. Even though he's your brother-in-law and your friend, I'm going to back you up and we're still going to make you win. When you found out about that,
Levi?
Rabbi David HaLevi and Rabbi Shalush are both their wives are both daughters of Hakham Meir Watnin. Rabbi Gordon was working on this, which he later denied. Okay, even though we have paperwork showing otherwise.
So that's why Rabbi George said he didn't get along with Gordon? That's why.
No, they didn't get along for a million different reasons. Okay, but that certain times they got along. Whenever it was convenient for both of them to get along, they did, and when it wasn't, it wasn't. Rabbi Hakham Yosef came from the other side, and he attacked all of Gordon's people, and that basically he made sure that Rabbi Shalush got really a devastating loss in Tel Aviv.
Wipeout?
Major wipeout. He only got like 12 votes. Okay, something fierce. And Rabbi Haim David HaLevi, who was more of an unknown, won with a landslide, which was very, very strange.
You hear that, Sam?
Sam knows. I've been talking to Sam 10 times a week. It's crazy.
Just want to know if he's paying attention.
Oh, he's paying attention. All right. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, go put it on.
Obadia and Rabbi Shalush were arguing about Maran because of?
In other words, how David Shalush didn't buy this Maran business. Where'd you come from with this? This didn't exist before. If I went and opened up a sugya and I studied it well and I understood it and I was really able to analyze it deeply and I went to the other sugyot that pertain to it and I looked at the halachot and I looked at different rishonim and something else makes more sense to me, that a Rishon said that Yosef Karo did not decide to put in Shaharuch. I'm stuck with it. Why am I stuck with it?
So that's what they argued about?
Yeah.
He should have waited, Rabbi Shalush. It would have been smart for him to wait.
But they were arguing like before. It didn't happen just because of the election. The election started before. And
you don't know Rabbi Shalush.
You don't know Rabbi Shalush, exactly.
Right. Oh, yeah?
You know how all these things that we're hearing about Hakham Yosef, he doesn't step down, he doesn't back up in the face of adversary? Rabbi Shalush even more.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, forget it, you understand.
Oh, he'd go against anybody, you think?
If I came to you and I said, Abi, you're wearing a black shirt, okay? And what do you call it? Rabbi Shalush is standing here, it's not black, it's black and white. No, and you would say, no, but it's okay, you can call it black. He'd go ballistic. He'd throw over the table and prove to you for an hour how it's not black. And it's black and white.
We went to a bar mitzvah at the Kotel.
Listen to this, you won't believe it.
And, on the side they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the stands for the bar mitzvah boys.
Yeah, sure.
So he didn't like it that they were the third one and they weren't touching the Kotel. He's 92 years old at the time. He takes the table.
He's 93 now.
93. He's 91 at the time. Takes the table himself. He moves it to the kotel. And the guy's trying to stop him. And he goes, no! And he's holding it there. And he goes, no, we're at the kotel. You got to pray in front of the kotel. And he took it himself and brought it to the front.
He was there.
I was there.
What was he doing at the bar mitzvah?
He was invited.
I was invited to 93 years old. He's not a bar mitzvah still?
91.
Somebody who basically gave him a good benefactor.
Okay.
Came.
Oh,
so
right.
I have to do the right, and he put him up in the hotel.
Where does he live?
In Tanya. He put him up in the hotel in Jerusalem and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Pushing.
Not pushing. He pushed the whole thing by himself.
So fun. Huh? Happy Joe.
You should look for it. No, but
you go to YouTube.
All right, we're on to the next one.
But it wasn't only this point. Okay, so let's say this happened now, 72, 73. Now we get to 1978.
You have the 76, you have the...
1978. 1978, we need a new chief rabbi of Jerusalem.
We had the whole Nachem thing, you forgot about that whole fight.
I didn't forget about anything, there's nothing to do with anything.
Obadia was chief rabbi from
73 to 83.
83, okay.
It was Rishon LeZion. So now it's 1978.
Right.
The city of Jerusalem needs a new chief rabbi.
Why?
Because the one that was there is no longer. Don't worry about why.
No,
so now,
you said Hakham was the Rishon
LeZion. There's two positions. There's a Rishon LeZion position, who's basically the chief rabbi of everybody.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but he's based out of Jerusalem. But you also have the chief rabbi of Jerusalem.
Okay.
Okay. What happens now? There's a number of possible contenders for the position of chief rabbi of Jerusalem. Someone knows that they're not of the caliber. The only one of the caliber, again, that his name on the list, Rabbi Shalush. Chamonix doesn't know what to do. So what does he do?
Morocco.
Casablanca. Go bring Rabbi Shalom Mesas. Out of the clear blue sky. Unknown, unheard of, never been to Israel. Goes and brings him to be chief rabbi of Jerusalem.
And where's he from?
Casablanca, Morocco. He was the chief rabbi of Morocco.
But his
uncle.
uncle.
Just bring him out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. He was never in Israel. And he brings him just to make sure that Rabbi Shul doesn't get the position.
And? Did he get it?
Obviously not. Rabbi Mesas became chief rabbi and he passed away a couple of years ago. Until now, the position is still open with Hamadiyah's sons still wanting the position. Which one of them will probably grab now anyway? Probably David, is my guess. Yeah. Anyway, that was just a little more history. Some may agree with this, some may not agree with it, but it seems that official government paperwork backs everything I just said. And when I brought this up to Sam couldn't believe it either. He right away jumped and contacted Tzvi Zohar.
And you could be the chief rabbi of Yerushalayim if you weren't born there?
I guess so.
You're a Jew.
We currently have a Rishon LeZion who is not even a Dayan. He was never a Dayan in his life, never sat on a bit din in his life. How is he Rishon LeZion right now?
The son?
Yeah. I wonder. Anyway. No, it's mind-boggling. How can you be the chief rabbi of all rabbis, of all Jews, and you were never a Dayan? It makes no sense.
But he wrote books.
I'm not saying it to belittle Rabbi Yishak Yosef. I'm sure, he's a great Talmid Hakham, but I don't think...
Was there a vote?
Yeah, there was a lot of politics involved. From the 147 people that were eligible to vote, okay, just so you know this.
147?
There were 147 people that have, voting rights in this election.
Right.
To vote who becomes the Rishon LeZion. Only 3 people abstained from voting. Rabbi Shalush, he still has voting rights because he's a heavyweight from way back when. So he still has voting. He abstained from voting. Rabbi Meir Mezuz, Rabbi of Kisei Rahamim, and a politician from Tel Aviv. Otherwise, everybody voted.
What was the vote, Any idea?
You want the exact number? I could look it up. We don't need it right now, but I'll look it up after.
And who else was running? Who else was running? A slew of guys?
A slew of guys, yeah. Whatever. Even if these 3 voted, the winners would still be the winners. But I think, from what I understood, and what Sam filled me in on, he was also aware that these 3 didn't vote. And from what he knows is basically, they did not feel that Hakham Obaadiah's candidate, in other words his son, was the right man for the job, but they didn't want to publicly come out against Hakham Obaadiah. It doesn't even pay. Because they know he's going to win anyway. So they just abstained. But you understand, for Rabbi Shalush to not go with it, I could understand. But Rabbi Meir Mezuz and Hakham Obaadiah were very, very tight, and they basically supported each other on a lot of things. I think the whole Amsalem affair left a sour taste in Rabbi Mezuz's mouth.
Why?
Because Amsalem was one of Mezuz's students.
He's a nothing on Amsalem. He got 0.
He's not a nothing. He's a very smart guy, though.
He got 0.
As a Talmid Hakham, he's very smart. He's not a politician. No, he's not.
Yeah, right. So he went to...
Okay.
As a Talmid Hakham, though, he's smart.
Nothing.
Anyway, these are just some historical political background of what's going on with this whole Maran thing. Okay? So now, let's look at this chart in front of us for a moment. So if you notice in front of you, I made some copies of the chart. And this chart basically gives us topics, okay? And then it tells us who follows Maran on the issue and who does not follow Maran on the issue. And not only among Sephardim being two different groups, if we look at it as the North Africans and the traditional Sephardim, or we look at it as the Eidot HaMizrah, or more correctly, the Iraqis and the modern Israeli outlook. That's why I'm going to term it for now. Obviously, different people can fall into both different groups. And then we can see where the Ashkenazim fall in as well. So let's look at the first topic. Mispar Kirichot B'Sisit. Okay, as we all know, in our Sisit, the Sisit are the strings on the Talit. Talit Gadol, Talit Katan. Either way, there are strings, right? Those are the Sisiyot. And these Sisiyot have to be tied in a certain fashion, according to our custom, once again. Again, according to Harambam, they'd be tied totally differently. But according to our custom, how many, if you want to call it, they're not really knots, how many twists is what we're talking about. Okay? So, the most common customs for twists are either you twist it as 10, 5, 6, 5, or you tie it as 7, 8, 11, 13. Okay? Some people do only one way, some people do only the other way, some people do talit katan, one way, and talit gadol another way. In any case, we know more or less what it is. But what does Shulchan Aruch say? And what do the different groups do? Anybody? Something?
Yeah, I'm listening.
I'm asking.
I'm listening.
What does Harambam say on...
Harambam has his own way.
What does Maran say on Sisit?
I'm asking you, what do you do?
What does Aaron
Your
say?
talit, I would say everybody's talit gadol over here. Forget about Harambam for
Whatever
a second.
Mikor did, that's what I took.
Okay. I don't think I'd be wrong in saying everybody in this room right now, in 2013, everybody talit gadol probably has 7, 8, 11, 13.
Yeah, I think so.
Anybody here doesn't have it?
I'd have to go and check.
Okay, you'd have to go home and check. No problem.
I have 3. One is Harambam.
The one that you generally wear.
Say 7, 8,
11, 13. Yeah.
I'll check it. 7, 8, 11, 13.
7, 8, 11, 13. I'll look.
Okay.
I got it.
And if you're wearing a talit katan, you're probably not wearing 7, 8, 11, 13. You're probably wearing...
Nothing.
I said, if you're wearing talit katan, alright, you're wearing what? You're wearing 10, 5, 6, 5. Okay? Some of you seem to have a problem with this talit katan business. Talit katan.
There we go.
If you recall, we had a nice number of classes. We discussed this at length as well. And...
No, this one?
No, this is
way
before his time. Way before his time.
And he gave like 25 classes on his list.
Yeah, do me a favor. He's been good. Still, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Anyway. Just keep it there, sir. Bottom line is, the halakha is very clear. If you are wearing a four-cornered garment, you must put tzitzit on that four-cornered garment.
What do you
consider
a four-cornered garment today?
You don't have one today.
Right.
Poncho would probably.
Yeah, poncho, man.
Right.
Okay, yeah. Since we don't wear four-cornered garments, we have no obligation in putting tzitzit. Therefore, there is no law that says you have to go to Mekor and buy a four-cornered garment to have him put these strings on it for you, so you could put it on, so you could be shielded all day long in this, mizvah, supposedly.
They're recording that, right?
I know I'm recording it.
Yeah, we have it.
I'm recording it. I have many Hakham that have written about this.
Yeah.
There's no secret over here.
Just spoke for your time, Abe.
Again, the deen is very clear. Okay, good. I'm glad. So the deen is very clear. If you're wearing a four-cornered garment, you must put sisiyot on it. If you do not have a four-cornered garment, there is no obligation for sisit. Okay? Plain and simple. So I was recalling with Sam a couple of, maybe yesterday even on the phone, we were talking about Rabbi Shilush, and something about sisit is big in the news right now in Israel. And he said, you should look at those and do this with the class. I go, Sam, we did the sisit issue with the class many years ago. We don't need to rehash it. He goes, no, it would be interesting to discuss it and, get Rabbi Shilush's take on it. I go, I don't need to get Rabbi Shilush's take on it because I happened to be standing with him in the summer of 2008 when he was here. Mm-hmm. And I said, Hakham, can you talk to me about this sisit issue, this and that, about wearing talit katan, not wearing talit katan? And he started looking around the room, who's there, who's not there, right there. Oh, that's what it was. We were talking about the whole concept of sisit and, the numbers involved and, and its connection to other concepts within the Torah. And that's how I asked him after the class about it. So he goes, I'll talk to you about it afterwards. He didn't want to talk, because you saw there were certain people in the room that would not understand. And I understand very well, but that's what I liked about him. He didn't know the people. He was, a guest in deal. He didn't, but just by looking at the people in the room, he knew who was going to be a hassle, who was going to be a wise guy. I'll talk to you about it later.
You knew also.
I knew, but I didn't think he's going to know. Okay? And I wasn't trying to put him in a corner. I just, wanted to see what he's going to tell me. So afterwards, I didn't bring it up. He brought it up to me. He goes, you asked me about it.
He stayed by you?
He didn't stay by me, no. that house in the back of the Westview
right. Okay.
That's where he's... Okay. Naomi and Sophia rehashed the place, and they did a pretty good job. And he stayed there.
We made them fix it.
Yeah. Anyway, he says, okay, let me tell you what the story is. He goes, tell you the truth? I haven't put one on in years. I go, what? He goes, well, what's wrong? I go, I haven't either, but I didn't expect you to tell me that. He goes, that's why I can't say it in front of people. They won't understand. He goes, I already, he goes, I put on my talit in the morning when I pray. I don't have a full corner garment. Do I have to go put this thing underneath me for what? It's not comfortable. There's no obligation. What am I doing? Because I haven't done it in years.
Did you tell him it's a mitzvah to wear it all day?
I told him, what about these people who say mitzvah wear it all day? And he goes, okay, let them wear it all day. I'll study Torah all day. That's my mitzvah all day. he goes, they don't study Torah. That's the problem. Everybody's looking for some sort of, get rich quick scheme. He basically said it in Hebrew to me. Everybody wants, shortcut. And he goes, I study Torah. I fulfill mitzvot. I teach Torah. This is what I do.
That's funny. That's great. And he's saying that at 90 years old, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
We have it on video if you want.
No, that's not on video. That was privately on Shabbat.
I think it's so silly to try to tell our kids, our boys, that they have to wear it to school. And if they don't wear it, it's like...
Well, the school policy. That's the problem.
It's silly. It's a silly policy.
That's the school policy.
School policy.
Well, I had an issue.
It's not because of the, Hayav or not. They just want the kids to...
I had an issue like that, though, when one of my nephews was in Flatbush and your friend Ben Hamou was a teacher or whatever. And
my friend.
Yeah, one of your friends.
Like him.
He's a nice guy.
I like
him.
him.
I don't like him. Anyway.
See, I do like him.
You don't like anybody, David.
Anyway,
no. So, Rabbi Abraham ben Hamud told him, how come you're not wearing? What do you mean not wearing? No, you have to wear tzitzit. He didn't know any better or any worse. Go home and write me a report on the importance of wearing tzitzit and why you have to wear it and, this and that. All right, he calls me up. Hi, Uncle Joe, can you help me out? I go, oh, sure, I'll help you out. I helped him out, write a whole paper on why he doesn't have to wear it. And why nobody has to wear it.
I guarantee you never got a call back.
No, I bet Hamel called me back freaking out. What'd you do?
That's a place.
I'm going to lie to the kid. I'm not going to lie to him.
Why should we lie?
The school expects. I go, so tell him that you want to write a thing why the school wants me to wear. I'll do it. But you said, well, he has to wear. And he needed help. Where's he going to look it up? So I opened up Yehavedat, I read him Teshuvah for Hakham Obadia Yosef, and it doesn't seem that you have to. It only tells you if you have a four-corner comment. I looked up the different sources. You can't do that. It was great.
Hysterical.
But see, the problem is when a kid wakes up and finds out that their rabbis have lied to them, or the people, or the school system has lied to them.
I don't know if it's lying.
Exaggerating.
Lying.
That you have to wear
just
lying.
Come on.
Not giving you the truth. They're not lying.
That's a lie. So when they wake up
Listen,
and they finally realize.
when you're a kid, they probably want.
My son tells me things every day, and I'm like,
what? When you get older and you start studying and you learn more about it.
my rabbi said this, my rabbi said that. Every day I have to.
Then you can think for yourself.
But the problem is when they realize, when they're 18 or 20 years old and someone tells them, hey, you know what, you don't really need to wear tzitzit.
I'm not going to say that.
You know what I'm saying, though? And then if the kid
Right,
will
no,
wake
I
up and say,
understand.
hey, you know what?
Does Maran say tzarich? Or just,
Hello?
no, it says minhag.
Did you know
I'm
that?
opening it right now for you.
Yosef married a Saba.
Oh, yeah?
Very good.
Who?
Was she rich?
I don't know.
Okay.
Who married who?
Yosef Tado, Maran,
All right.
married a Saba.
It's good to be told what I had. Come on.
Is it
He
still
should have married.
recording?
He should have married a Ajam instead.
You're in post. You're going to have to.
Yeah, you're definitely
You bet.
Alright, no, you're that. So when
you're
Shulchan Aruch, Orach Hayim, Hilchot Tzitzit, Siman, Yod Aleph, Se'if, where are we in? Se'if Yod Dalet, the second half of Se'if Yod Dalet. Nohagim, L'chroch, Ba'avir Rishon, Shib'a Kirichot, ובשני, 9, בשלישי, יוד א', וברביעי, יוד ג', שעולים כולם מים, כמניין השם אחד, שעולים למתת, מim השם הם mim. So, first of all, the mistake in Shulchan Aruch. Shulchan Aruch tells you 7, 9, 11, 13. Which is a mistake. It's 7, 8, 11, 13. And you know that by doing the math in the end, and this is what all the Aharonim write, that it's a typo. Okay? And they show from where the sources for it from, etc. So just keep that in mind. So Shulchan Aruch is telling you to do what? 7, 8, 11, 13. So, what? No, tell me what?
Shulchan Aruch, is this the one where he surveyed the Rif, Harambam, and the Rosh?
Yes.
So where did he get it from?
Where did he get it
Because
from?
Harambam and the Rif probably did it the not way, so he must have got it from the Rosh. Or the Tur.
Who knows? Let's see if we have anything here on the side to tell you.
Just wondering.
Okay, fine. Fair question. Doesn't mean we're going to have an answer for you, but fair question.
So you tell me it's a typo in Maran?
Yeah, it's a typo.
Well, he could have written it. He could have written it as 8, and then someone changed, and then the printer maybe.
Yeah, I said obviously.
Yeah.
All right. No, as far as we can tell, it's not from any of the three.
Okay.
If not that I'm recalling it, I believe it comes from the Kabbalah. Okay.
Interesting.
The knot.
The knot. It's not the knot. The knot. The twists.
The twists, right.
Okay.
Right.
So, first of all, if you look at this chart that we have, okay, they tell you the North Africans, they don't follow Maran on this. They don't do the 7, 8, 11, 13. Okay? They're saying the Adot Mizrah also don't follow Maran. They also don't do 7, 8, 11, 13. Which is a mistake again. Anyway. Then in the next column, it's saying, are the North Africans like the Ashkenazim on this? No. Okay, because the Ashkenazim follow Maran according to this. Are the Adot Mizrah like the Ashkenazim? Yes. We'll discuss that afterwards. But just, first things first, showing you that basically nobody is following Maran. Now the question is, are we talking about, again, Talit Qatan or Talit Gadol? So obviously that changes. So I just don't want to get into exact nitty gritty of it. I just wanted to show you that there are different ways of tying, and we may or may not be following Maran on one or both or neither. Okay? It's a simple thing, and we're going to skip the second one, which is Talit Katan, because not applicable. But I want to look at the third thing. Hanahat tefillin shel yad me'omid. When you put on tefillin shel yad, or technically tefillah shel yad, do we stand or do we sit?
Stand.
Okay, David, thank you. According to Shulchan Aruch, you're supposed to stand.
Mm-hmm.
According to Shulchan Aruch, you have to stand.
I only stand.
Okay? Barry for sure never stood, never saw anybody stand, and will never stand.
I never saw anybody stand.
I always stand.
People stand?
People stand today.
I stand. I never sit down.
More so because they're rushing.
Ashkenazim stand.
Yeah, they stand for both.
Sephardim don't stand.
I've
There's
never
a few
seen
guys that stand. You stand?
Stand.
No?
I grew up sitting, I generally do sit.
So do I.
Okay?
Okay.
But again, this is according to being a non-Maran following and following Kabbalah.
Exactly. That's why I stand.
No, seriously. I'm telling you the truth. Maran says stand. Kabbalah comes and tell you have to be sitting.
So we
decided, you know what?
Follows.
Maran, screw him. We're following Kabbalah.
Right. In halakha, we don't do these things. So that's why we stand. Exactly.
No, I'm telling you, it's just a fact. That it's not that, again, like what Barry wants to say, well, let's see, maybe the Rambam, maybe the Rif, maybe the Rosh, no, we have the writings of Mahar'u. Okay? Bihayim Vital wrote in Priyas Hayim, this is what I saw my teacher, the Ari, do, and this is what we do.
So we follow.
Okay? So that's what we follow. Because we're all, very, very holy people.
Very right.
Okay? So the North Africans are following Maran. We're not following him. The Ashkenazim are following Maran. And that's it.
Strange.
Right.
It should be the opposite.
Okay, but it's not. Okay.
And I wonder what Obadia Yosef did.
You sit?
Hakham. I'm allergies.
Obadia Yosef
You
stand.
sit?
I sit, yeah. I sit.
Baghdadians, the ones that push the sitting more than anybody else.
He's back.
Okay.
Come over there.
He sat.
He sat.
He sat. What's this?
Right. He sat.
He
So
sat.
he didn't follow Maran.
No, he didn't.
So there's one of his...
Yeah. Okay.
Be positive in the 30 days. Come on.
Okay. Here's another one.
Throw this guy out.
Tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam.
Leave the recorder. Get out.
Tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam.
That's the next one.
Basically, the way we grew up, who wore Tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam? Do you remember?
Ham Yaakov.
Yeah, they wore both of them together, right? Until today, his son, Hakham Shaul, still wears both of them together.
Okay.
And his grandson.
Well, I don't know about his grandson.
You leave the grandsons out.
Exactly. Let's say Hakham Shaul is Hakham. Okay? Grandson, whatever.
Uh-huh.
His grandson? Shaky? Anyway. Basically...
I got the book.
Yeah.
I'm good.
We all have the book.
You better turn that off before I start going on.
Are we going to do Rabbi Shalush on the robots? No.
Robots or robots?
They close everybody robots to put on the...
Okay. So we all wear tefillin every day, right?
Right.
Very good. And
Follow.
we all wear one tefillin,
Rashi?
Yeah.
right? It says on it tefillin Rashi.
Right.
Not that it's only Rashi, this existed before Rashi, obviously,
Right.
and many, many other people did it, but for whatever reason it became known to be tefillin of Rashi.
Right.
But we also see there are people that wear another pair of tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam, because Rashi's grandson wasn't happy with what Grandpa was doing, and he had to make his own kind of tefillin. So,
that's a cheap shot. That's a cheap shot.
Rabbeinu Tam is his grandson.
That's a cheap shot.
No.
Anything for a buck these days, huh?
I don't mean it to make fun of. I mean to us, it's a foreign concept. We try to promote, following the minhagim of our fathers, our forefathers, and here we are. We're talking about Rashi, a very, very well venerated Tamid Hakham. Somebody whose initials his acronym is known, from the youngest age among school children, to the oldest people among Sephardim, among Ashkenazim, and then all of a sudden you would think, okay, it's a tefillin that we wear, everybody wears it, it's all good and fine. All of a sudden, the grandson comes along. You know what? Nah, it's not a good minhag for me. It's not a good halacha. He wasn't religious enough. I understand the halacha better.
I don't think it was that.
It's not. I'm saying that he did it out of arrogance. But I'm saying, but it is that. It's exactly that, Marky.
Is he the father of the Tosafist movement? In Rabbinate town?
I believe so.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Yeah, I believe he is. But no, so the point is that what Grandpa was doing is not right. It is the incorrect way. I say it should be otherwise. It's exactly what he did. You cannot say
that's what he did.
So what did he do? He just changed the order of the
parashiyot.
That was it?
That's it.
And that's going to change the world.
Change the tefillin. That's it.
It's
a me'akev, no?
So now, according to Shulchan Aruch, nobody's supposed to be wearing, and we only wear one kind of tefillin, and that's it. And we know that there are certain Talmidei Hachamim, certain Hachamim, that they would wear also this Rabbinu Tam one together at the same time as they wear the Rashi one.
They don't do that today.
Nowadays, they do it afterwards. They take one off, they put the other one on, whatever. But it was only reserved strictly for big rabbis and nobody else. If somebody else did it, it would be considered yuhara. Yuhara means you're showing off. I am on that same level as the Hakham. But nowadays, like I said, everybody's doing it. And that goes against Shulchan Aruch. And who is the biggest, and I mean the biggest proponent of Rabbinu Tam Tefillin ever in history? Hakham Obadia Yosef. Hakham Obadia Yosef wants every member of Am Yisrael to wear Rabbinu Tam Tefillin every day. He wants to wear Rashi, and after the Amidah, take off the Rashi one and put on the Rabbinu Tam ones. And even years ago, praying in his minyan in the great synagogue in Jerusalem, all of a sudden you see after Amidah, after Kaddish, all of a sudden the whole minyan stops, prayer stops, everybody takes off the tefillin, and everybody takes another Quran shot and puts on the other tefillin.
I was going to make a comment.
First time I saw that, what's going on? Basically, so again, this Rabbinu Tam stuff. Following Maran means not putting it on. Putting it on means you're going against Maran. Okay? That we're going to skip. Okay,
What are you doing?
No, look to number 7. Mi shelo hayya b'berkot hashachar. Okay? If you're not obligated in berkot hashachar. So, do we follow Maran? Do we not follow Maran? What does Maran say about berkot hashachar, David?
Definitely does he do.
Does he do what? Mm-hmm. Yeah, tell me what, David. What does it say?
No, it says lo.
Lo, ken, lo, ulai. Maybe something.
It says no.
Whoa.
No, I'm asking you bottom line here. Here's Shulchan Aruch, very clear. Siman Mem Vav. Kishi Or Mishnat Ho Yomar Elohai, Neshama, Kish Shma Khlotan Ego Yibarech Noten Lesich Bina, Kish Bash Yibarech Rechamir, Kishina. Every item as you do it, you make the beracha. Sounds like Hanambam, right?
Yeah.
Good. Each item, as you do it, you make the beracha. كشرين كوبا مسنفة بروشوي يبرخ معطيه سبت الفراب شطي يدا يبرخ عن يدا كشوش حبنا يبرخ عن بشنا بيراسون عابر ختاشين قوم يحسين توين عمو إسرائيل in Anot. Then he goes on, and he doesn't say anything more or anything less. Bottom line is, when you get to the item, you do it. You have the issue at hand, you do it. Because you have that issue at hand, you do it. Do we follow him?
No.
Do we follow him?
No.
No.
No. Does anybody follow him?
No.
No.
You come to Shacharit in the morning, they say it there.
Whatever you say it at home, you say it on the way, you say it there.
Yeah.
But bottom line is, we're not following Shulchan Aruch. Okay?
I'm tired. I don't remember.
No. In other words, not the North Africans who claim they follow Shulchan Aruch, they're not following him. Not the Edot HaMizrah, they're not following him.
Ashkenazim following?
The
Ashkenazim follow on this?
No. They don't follow him either. That's not what it says. Over here is, the Ashkenazim also don't follow him.
Says can.
The can over here refers to, are the North Africans behaving like the Ashkenazim do? Yes, they are. Are the Edot HaMizrah behaving like Ashkenazim? Yes, they do also. Okay? The columns can be confusing if you don't know how it's set up. Yeah. Well, because it's not meant to just, to be looked at without explanation.
Okay.
Now, here's the funny thing.
So nobody follows him.
Nobody follows him. Okay? Yosef, you would think for sure is going to push an item like this, Barakhala Battala, Filu Neged Maran. Not only does he have you doing it, he has you making sure that you do it, and make sure that you say that other Barakha that Maran doesn't even talk about, of which one is? Hanoten Laya'ef Kawah. Okay? Who Rabbi Shalom Mesa says don't say it at all. If you want to say it, say it without Shem Hashem. But Hakham Yosef, no, make sure. And he writes about it at length. And we're going to get to one of his Teshuvot where he talks about it. And we're going to see how it seems hypocritic. How he's telling you to do it, but it goes against Maran, and it goes against his own rules about Safek Berachot Hakil Afilu Neged Maran. Where's he coming from?
So Rabbi Shlush was kind of right.
We're not saying he was.
No, I'm just saying.
We're not saying he wasn't.
What do you mean kind of right? He's always right when he writes.
No, he's not always. No, nobody's always right. There's nobody always right.
Arguing with Hakham Obadia on this. Maran.
When he writes, that's what I mean.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Arguing with Hakham Obadia. Maran. It's not Maran.
No.
We don't follow it and stuff.
No.
I mean, we didn't even get through it. I'm just saying, we only did a few.
And
right.
It says amen.
Yeah.
What's that?
But they don't say
the Ashkenazim say in the Knis.
Right.
Hazan says it out loud.
Well, according to Abu Dirham, that's what it was done in Spain too, amongst the Faradim.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Maurice Road does it with the kids. Amen.
The truth is, I think it's a good thing to do.
I think so too.
Yeah. Where is it picked up?
A lot of times people forget to do it.
I'm saying that Abu Dirham,
Yeah.
David Abu Dirham, writes that that's the way they did it in Spain. That's the way it was done. You go to the Bit Knesset, and the Hazan gets up and says it. All one big thing.
Right.
Also against, obviously that was written before Maran, okay, but it was written after Rambam, and in this case, Maran is following Rambam, and we're not doing not Maran, not Rambam. And in Spain, they didn't do that either, obviously.
Yeah, but which part of Spain? Is northern Spain?
Yeah, Wuderham was northern Spain, yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
J-Dubs do it.
J-Dubs what?
They do because.
Yeah, we know that. They do it out.
That's number
one
10.
person gets up and says it.
Yeah,
it's great.
One after that, yeah. So, yeah, there are some Moroccans who follow Maran and say it without Shem Hashem, but among Edot and Mizrah, we say it with Shem Hashem. No problem. Okay, Piyuti B'toch HaSemirot, we're going to skip that. Aniyat Amin, we're going to skip that. Tim Buhayah, we're going to skip. Muhammad Ibn Khutain, no. Qadam Abu Nashmiya, we'll skip. Kam Mesidah Hazim Mikrit Shemi'ah. Okay, yeah. Okay, number 14. كم سسيوت أو حازين بقريات شماع? How many sisiyot do you hold?
2.
Is it 2 or 4?
According to Zavadik, 2.
How many according to Shulchan Aruch?
Oh, according to
2.
2.
To the front.
Right.
Okay, right. But according to Edot Mizrah, in this case being the Baghdadians, the Ben Ishais, the Mekubbadim, you must have all 4. Rabbi Shalom Mesa says interesting teshuvah on this. He tells you it's disgusting to do that.
To do what? 4?
To grab all 4.
Why?
Because the whole point of wearing Talit Gadol when you're praying is so you're surrounded by the Talit. You're surrounded by the mizvot of the Sisit. And now you're pulling them all to your front. Like you, like you're just greedy and you want to have it all to yourself. As opposed to sharing it. Here's the Shubah. Bishalom Mesas, the chief rabbi of Jerusalem, the one who was picked from Casablanca.
Right.
Okay, he writes that you have to leave the two in the back and you have the two in the front. That way you have for yourself and for Am Yisrael, for your neighbor that's on your sides of you, the guy behind you, he has to encircle you with mizvot, not just all stuck in your hand in front of your face. You know, he goes, that's not the way it's meant to be. But when you read his lashon,
you watch people today?
Oh, of course.
It's ridiculous.
They gotta get up. So
The whole thing and the whole thing, like it's right. By the way, that was nice. The tissue back.
Yeah, it's like
they're holding off a deal life.
that's what I'd like to do. I like to hear what he has to say.
No problem. We'll get them.
So
eventually.
Maran says two.
Mary.
Who?
Rabbi Shalom Masas.
But it doesn't seem like we follow Maran in this.
We don't. That's that's the whole point. We don't follow Maran because most people have in their hand four. Because if you open up the Siddur, it tells you grab
now we
all
came out of
Shul.
Shul. Now
Maran says two.
Yeah.
Yeah, but listen. Now you come into out of Shul, you're into Jerusalem. You have one way to go, and that's it. Imagine if that one.
I haven't gone back there since the guy told me.
Oh, really? Me either.
What happened? Nifilat Apayim.
24.
Okay, doing Nifilat Apayim the real way. We're putting your head down on your arm with a tefillin and all. Maran says that's how you have to do it.
I do it.
In other words, you have to say after in the morning, after Vayabori, you have to say the tefillin with your head down on your arm with the tefillin there. That's what Maran says to do. Do we do it?
No.
Nah. Again, against Maran.
Is it true that was the custom of the community?
You weren't at that class.
Yeah,
so.
we had that class too.
They did that years ago?
Yeah.
Well, just for Ledavi?
Yeah.
Or it's straight to Avinu?
That section. That
Just that
page,
section.
yeah. Okay.
Outside.
Oh, here's another great one. One second, go ahead, Barry.
What line?
Number 29. HaKohanim matchilin lomar yibarechecha. Okay.
I love this
So
one.
now,
It's
let me tell you what's classic about this one. Okay.
So they
Shulchan Aruch is very, very clear that the Kohanim go up. Okay, and they make the beracha, and then they say Yibarechecha on their own.
Right.
Okay, without anybody calling it out to them.
Right.
Okay, and that is exactly what Shulchan Aruch said to do, and that's technically what almost all Sephardim have always done. Right, so not Eretz Yisrael.
Which is strange.
Because of the Baghdadians again. The Ben Ish Hai, the Ben Ish Hai, the Kaf Hayim Sofer, the Mekubalim, all pushed this concept of it is not proper, and that even that first word must be called out by the Hazan to the Kohanim, and only once the Hazan calls it out to them, then they repeat that word, like any other word. Now you would think a topic like this, a hot topic, where Ben Ish Hai, okay, who's really the one who pushed this concept amongst the Faradim, okay, came out against Shulchan Aruch, you would think Obadia would go ballistic, defending Maran, defending the old-time custom, and coming out lashing against Ben Ish Hai, and again, and telling you, no, the Kohanim don't know. Not only does he not, he tells you that the proper way is for the Hazan to call out that word. And if you're in a place where you could get them to change the minhag to do it like that, do it like that, and if they still refuse, then okay, leave them alone, because they have sources to rely on. You didn't tell me because Maran Shulchan Aruch tells you, it was because they have sources to rely on.
Wow.
Okay? And this, I was reading it over Shabbat, it blew my mind.
You're blowing my mind right now.
I could not believe it.
That's wild.
So, is he following Maran?
Is
he pushing Maran?
No.
Is he defending Maran? No. What's going on?
What's the reason of saying it? What's the reason of is there any kind of
Kabbalistic? Seems to be more Kabbalistic than anything else.
That the Kohanim should say it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Doesn't make sense. Right.
Anyway.
Was he always posek that way, or like in terms of leading to the Kabbalah? Or
and you want to get to Ben Ish Hai in a lot of things, right?
On most.
And not this.
Not this.
Very strange.
Very strange. No, this is an overall view of Hakham Yosef's rulings
So you're right.
over the
It
years.
is kind of wishy-washy.
What is this?
From over the
31
years.
mean? 31. Chazak Baruch L'Kohanim.
We're not up to this. That's not what we're doing. That's why I'm skipping certain things.
What do you want to go home? Go home.
No, I just
You
want
want
to
to
know
switch to the back?
what is he saying here?
Here's a good one.
Don't say it. I mean,
Here's a good one. Number 36.
We skipped you, Barry. Sorry.
Number 36. In Ma'arin Musafin. No. Oh, I'm sorry.
How?
Oh, so forget it. I thought it was about the in. So if we want to get something else, so we'll skip that one for
What
now.
is that, anyway?
About how to put up extras to the sefer.
How to put up? Oh,
Extras.
Mosseri.
No, I want to find one thing. No, but we want to find specific things. Something specific that would be really good. Come on, next one.
Ooh, 46.
46.
Even the sheen.
No, but that's nothing to do with Maran.
Oh, okay.
It's all
Just
good.
leave it one. That'd be a good one.
57?
56.
57.
56.
56.
56.
Shemir Tzibor.
Schar.
Ischar.
Okay? Hazan getting paid. Okay?
Uh-oh. Let me see. Okay.
Shulchan Aruch says no.
So every Hazan
He's out of a job.
is that right?
And if they're out of a job, they're going to make sure the rabbi's out of a job. So that's why the rabbis back them up on this one.
Right.
So they have a job. You understand? You know, again, we
The
don't
rabbi should be the hazan.
we don't see the rabbis pushing this halacha once again.
Right.
So Maran says no.
Basically, again, I'm doing everything very,
Yeah,
very
sure,
abbreviated, very, very surface.
Okay.
So 57?
I'll be very positive.
57? There's different things about where to stand at what point. So that's a whole different thing. Okay. Yeah, 62 is good. And we brought this up not too long ago, AB, if you remember. Friday night,
Right.
you make Kiddush.
Right.
Okay? What goes on nowadays? After you drink Kiddush, everybody goes running off to do Netilat Yadayim. No, after you drank. No, after you drank. You
Right.
could talk at this point.
Right.
Saying Shabbat Shalom.
Right.
But everybody goes running off to do
Netilat
Netilat Yadayim. You can't do anything right after Kiddush. You must do Netilat Yadayim. Do not pass go, do not $200.
What do you want to do?
Okay?
Right.
What happened? What used to be?
Used to do.
Hold on.
Have some olives, have some, what do you call it? Have some cucumber,
The
adama,
Kabbalah
radish.
says no.
We used to kill everybody. We touched anything. Whether Kiddush.
No, but it was after Kiddush now.
After
You make
Kiddush,
Kiddush.
before the
Oh,
bread.
right, okay.
Before the bread.
Before Netilat Yadayim.
Okay, you can eat. Of
Put
course
out
you can eat.
salad.
But does anybody eat nowadays?
No.
Why?
The Egyptians do.
Where?
I don't know. The Safdis do that.
Which safties?
Jackie Safdis family.
Jackie. Rabbi Jackie? I don't know what Rabbi Jackie does in his house.
No, his parents.
Technically, you can eat.
It's not the point if technically or not technically.
Right.
But what
We make
is a
berachot.
normal occurrence today is that immediately after Kiddush
Netilat
and
Yadayim.
after, drinking the Kiddush and saying Shabbat Shalom, everybody runs off doing Netilat Yadayim.
Right.
You're not allowed to eat.
So you
That's
say you should
the
make a
common
beracha
thing.
party instead and start eating all the
No
different foods?
parties. No parties.
parties.
But the way it was commonly done is because you want to have more berachot on Shabbat,
Right.
to be able to have those extra berachot. You'd have berachot. You'd have some olives, some pickles, something on the table. You make beracha and you eat. Okay? Now, according to Shulchan Aruch, that's proper and it is correct. According to the current rulings of the rabbis of Eidot HaMizrach, no. And so once again, what has become the common practice? Let's go against Maran. Let's not have berachot.
And who are they relying on?
Other rabbis, other ways of thinking, other approaches. But you see how it keeps coming back again and again and again. Obviously, we're not going to go through all the examples that are here. Okay, we have 127 different examples of things. But bottom line is, if you look at everything in the end, we follow Maran 50% of the time only.
We do, but what about Obadia? What about Hakham Obadia?
We're talking about Hakham
Him.
Yosef.
He's 50%.
50%.
50% of the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
For these 127 instances.
Oh, 127.
That's what we're looking at over here.
Okay. But I'm wondering in general, though.
In general,
80%.
No, let's put it maybe 70%.
That what?
We follow Shulchan Aruch. You're still 30%. You're not following Shulchan Aruch, and you're pushing.
Yeah.
But I did everything extremely surface. I want to get into actual cases. We're gonna look through. First, what?
You did it fast too.
Fast, just to like get you interested, get you
Maybe
intrigued.
doesn't know this book.
To know what's going on.
He doesn't
know
know
most of these books.
Maybe you don't know that, Phil.
What's wrong?
But we're gonna do. I copied the next week. We're gonna do a what do you call? God willing, we'll do a.